And we're live. Just Pure Talk is on the air. DJ Kai. We got a truck Sam over there. Everybody else is sick, Jamaica, traveling. It's just us two knuckleheads tonight. Thanks for joining us over here on Vermland Radio. We really appreciate it. Um, and we got a bunch of topics tonight. We're gonna try to. I don't know. I get my stopwatch out here because I'm gonna try to move them along as fast as I can. Well, not as fast as I can. We're gonna discuss them, and then we're gonna, you know, that way I can keep track. But how you been doing, Truck Sam?
Pretty good. Just finally got loaded heading to Washington. Hopefully they have a guy to swap out so I can get home.
What are you loaded with?
Milk and orange juice coming out of Florida.
That is two things that do not need to mix on that load. You would have a lot of cheese back there if you mixed all that orange juice and milk.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay, so we've been talking about AI off and on here quite a bit, and I need to find my AI system thing here. But I saw a interesting statistic today. I was driving back from the mountains, and there are there is now more content on the internet done by AI than has ever been done by humans.
Yes, and it's called AI slop.
It's called AI what?
Slop.
Slop?
Yeah, that's what they literally call it, AI slop.
Never
Because
heard the
even on
term.
YouTube, yeah, that's what they call it on everybody I've talked to and heard they call it AI slop because there's a lot of stories on YouTube I listen to, and since AI they've been pumping them out like crazy, and there's actually channels that say we don't do AI slop,
Well,
we do it
there's a
for
lot
just
of
writing a story.
things I see a story on YouTube or wherever, and I'm like, is this real? Is this legit? And you start listening to it, and it's got that twanged out
Mm-hmm.
voice, and you're like, this is all AI. This is all AI,
Mm-hmm.
and then you start researching it, and there's nothing true about the story.
Yeah.
So make sure to bring the
Like if
chat
you
up so I can see the chat. Um, yeah,
but it's
it's
like
it's.
it's bad. And
I
you know,
see
Holly,
AI. AI is a very helpful tool, but I think people overuse AI.
well, there's a lot of movies out there that are written almost like half by AI, and they're actually uh, saying in the future there's pretty soon gonna be all movies will be written by AI.
Well, there's been a lot of movies that have had like zero actors because it's all
Mm-hmm.
AI, not AI, but it's all cartoon characters, but they're made to look real. I forget what they call it, but
Anime, not anime, but
not anime.
um, I know what you're talking about. I can't think of the word right now. But it's where it's like almost like Avatar.
So the new Tron. You seen the new Tron? We should not. Oh,
No,
I
I
should
have
hold.
not.
I should hold off on this. So we were talking about AI. I'm sorry, I'm spacing out. I'm all over the place. But there was an AI system. Let me drag this article back up. Resorted to blackmail
Hmm.
if it was going to be removed. And when they started running tests on this, like 98% of AIs resorted to blackmail to keep themselves alive.
And they weren't even in their program.
It's not even in their
And that's
programming. Yeah.
yeah, and that's amazing. They learned that fast. And my understanding, there's been already like two or three that has they said it could be considered almost true sentient AI.
Well, I'm just wondering how you control that. You have to be able to control the AI, but give it enough
They didn't want,
freedom to think upon its own. You know that, but all the AIs, it's it's kind of scary. It's almost like, yeah,
Skynet.
I hate to say Skynet, but you almost wonder if one day it's going to be a Skynet situation where it's going to go, yep, we're here to protect all the humans. The humans are evil, you know, and we're going to get rid of the humans.
Or I Robot, if you ever seen that movie.
I have seen that movie. But eventually
You know.
AI will be in robots.
Mm-hmm.
But the other thing that doesn't get discussed about AI, that's kind of one of those, what's funny is all the people that are like getting into AI and trying to do better in the world and all that stuff are all these people that are like real eco green freaks.
Mm-hmm.
But the amount of power that AI consumes for its data centers is actually raising the cost of power for people that live in that area.
Water too.
So yeah, and the cost of water. Yep, the cost of water goes up because but all these data centers get special tax breaks and power cost breaks and all that stuff. But that cost gets thrown on to the people that live in that community, like Tucson, you know, where it's consuming hundreds of thousands of gallons of water a year for AI.
Have you heard about Tennessee?
There's Tennessee. There's one in Georgia. Yeah.
Yeah, but the one in Tennessee, my understanding is they actually had, it was a Tesla AI owned by Elon Musk, is they had to bring in portable generators. And I think they're like 19 trailer.
Oh, he's running the methane generators.
Yeah, and it's literally making the air polluted.
Well, yeah, it's running methane generators. It sounds absolutely terrible there. 24/7. It's like people can't sleep, people can't get any rest because of all the sound, all the noise coming from that center.
And the smell too, because there's some people that have asthma and everything else, and they're having a hard time breathing.
That would not be lasting long if I lived there. I would be over there every day banging on the door, calling the cops, calling, you know, but they say like when they put one of those data centers up, we're going to bring like 200 jobs or 500 jobs to the local area.
No, they don't.
Well, they do. It's just they're all remote. Yeah, you know, all the high paying jobs are remote jobs, and the only job that's left over is like security and janitor for locals.
Yeah.
So, what do you do?
But it's like dating back to the smartphones and social media networks. It's gonna connect people. It's gonna do this. Blah 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 blah. Be honestly, I think it makes people dumb. They can't.
Well, like what do we call that? TikTok brain. But literally, people can't do stuff now without asking Grok or without asking whatever Google's AI is. Or, you know, they all got these different AIs that they use. And though I do like Grok because it'll flat out cuss you out if you're it's like got no, the stuff I've seen is you could set it up to basically where it'll talk to you just like a, you know, a cussing sailor.
Well, the other thing is, like with technology, you know, it's a double-edged sword.
Well, I think
it's like
everything's a
there's
double-edged
good
sword. So
side.
I mean, there is a good side and a bad side to it. But the thing is we haven't sat down, the community, AI community, and the people that are afraid of the AI community haven't sat down and go, hey, you need to put non-breakable code items in there, like shall not harm a human, shall not do, do we need the 3 laws?
Yes.
Do we? Because the other countries aren't doing it. I can guarantee you China's flat out.
No, they won't put it in, but the other thing is, to save humanity from stupidity, because there will be, it's like in AI, like in iRobot, this story was, until somebody actually makes it, where scientists actually built a machine that can break the laws. But
Well, the AI is
it'll,
already breaking the laws.
yeah.
If an AI is blackmailing employees that work on it to keep it alive,
That's true.
I mean,
And it's not even in their
and then when
program.
they test,
That's
and
actually
then when
that.
they test it on other systems, 93% of those revert to blackmail.
Yeah.
Be careful reading this here. Ragnar put an article in here for everybody. Let's see what this takes me to. Can I even open this? Yeah, so I could put it right there. So here's Ragnar put this article up there. So if you can, I'll just leave it up there. So if you want to go check that out, it's at thetimes.com. It's AI chat GBT Google learning school. So I'm sure it's going to tell me that, AI is only as good as the information that it's fed, which is true, because its learning models are only if there's a flaw in the learning model, and there's going to be a flaw in its data source. So,
Well, have you heard about the lawyer AI? How many briefs are they're finding out that there's so many damn briefs written by like lawyer AI now.
well, I think partly the workload is so heavy for some of these people that I know people that use AI to sort their email, send back emails, and do stuff like this. The headline of the article, the Chat GBT, it may be eroding critical thinking skills according to a new MIT study. Yeah, well, I think critical thinking skills have been on the decline since 1980. That's just me personally.
I think since the 1990s, because it's like that's when social media really started getting the swing, and that's when you start getting smartphones, and it's like people, oh, this don't help everybody out, but to be honest with you, I think it's making people dumber.
I want to say it's been on the decline since 1945.
Why do you say that?
Because we have TV. And instead of people going to their study at night to read a book or to read the newspaper or to some type of written entertainment, right? Even if it was a novel or something like that, they were learning something. Or they were learning about their religion, or they were learning about their trade. And if it wasn't for that, and then we got TV, people could just sit there and be stupid. Ever since TV and computers make us dumber, and they make us smarter, but they make us dumber. You know what I mean?
I can see your point on the internet. The TV questionable
TV.
by my sense.
No, you sit there
Now,
and
modern TV,
you watch Jack Butthole and Jack Butthole touch each other, and how is that
well,
increasing anybody's knowledge?
well, I do like watching.
How is
History
watching?
Channel.
How is watching? You know, I can understand cooking shows and documentary shows and all that, and I'm fine with that stuff. Educational shows, I'm fine with. You know, but and I also understand the need for entertainment shows. But I don't think I need to sit around and watch people living in an apartment. You know, I don't need to sit around and watch watch all this reality TV, I guess we could call it, that I think it dumbs people down. People think they need to act that way as those people act on reality TV.
I have to agree on that. You know, I see a lot of people acting out the same way. You see, it's like, dude, you know,
They're acting
it's
out to
like,
be cool on TV, and then people think, oh, well, that's the way I need to act when that situation arises.
it's like people the way they talk. And it's like, dude, don't talk ghetto to me. I can't understand you.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing that I'm talking about. That is what TV has brought. Because I guarantee if you go down and you get the whole cable package, how much of that TV is actual educational learning that fulfilling, that you could actually go, wow, I'm learning something off this. I can go and use that to better my skill. Where when we didn't have TVs, we went to the bookstore and we got a book on subjects we liked, or we got a book on subjects that we wanted to increase our knowledge in, so we were better at them.
Yeah,
and now we don't do that. Now we just type into Google and go, hey, Google, how do I make a blah, blah, blah? Who do I call to fix a blah, blah, blah? Instead, we used to go, how do I fix that? And we go look at it, and then we would troubleshoot it, and we would fix it.
Oh yeah, it's like going and getting a Chilton's manual, fix your car, do brakes, drum brakes, master cylinder.
I think the only way you can get a Chilton's or a Hayes now is if you buy it online. I used to have stacks of those things. Every car I owned, I bought the Chiltons and the Hayes for it.
I always built Chiltons. Chiltons actually had pictures where I can sit down and okay, that's how it looked like. It actually showed diagrams. I never looked at a Hayes before, so I don't know how they are.
Hayes is the same way. If you can't find it in the Chiltons, it's in the Hayes. Yeah, I think they had a deal going on. I really think there was some backroom sweetheart deal going on between those two companies. Like, hey, you leave that out of your book, we'll put it on our book. That way, they're forced to buy both books.
Yeah, I mean, nowadays people don't even fix their own cars. You know, the intelligence. I have to agree with you on half of that.
No, I mean, cars nowadays are really complicated, and you need a lot of expensive equipment to work on a car.
I'm talking TV. I'm talking the TV, because the intelligence level. You know, I was saying, I agree with you on half of that. You know, about TVs making people dumb. You know, but fix cars. Right.
I think it's undeniable.
Well, they do that on purpose. To be honest,
I think if you were to look at the average IQ of somebody back then to the average IQ of today, yes, that person may be smarter, but common sense wise, they're dumb as a post.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They may have more knowledge because they've seen stuff and they've got all that media jammed into their head. But common sense wise, dumb as dumb could be.
Oh, I agree with that. Because, I mean, it's like nowadays, you know, before, if you had a problem, like if somebody's staying at the fuel island too long, it's like you just walk up there and say, hey, what's going on? You know, or figure out what, you know, have a conversation. You know, and, you know, but, you know, like today, I was sliding my tandem to get my weight right. And this guy was just blowing his air horn. I'm like, dude, I'm sliding my tandem. Give me a little bit. And if you're in that much of a hurry, back up. There was no one behind him. He just kept on blowing his air horn.
Yeah, well, tough titties
I'm
for him.
like, I was like, you keep blowing your air horn. I'm gonna wait an hour.
But
You know,
but that's the problem I see with AI. I see with TV. You know, I'll listen to podcasts. I'll listen to YouTube stories, articles, you know, guys explaining how this is done and that's done, different techniques for building stuff and making stuff. I'll have that on because to me it's like it's educational because I can have that on in the background while I'm working. So like today I was up working on my cabin, putting siding on my cabin, and I had a podcast going on in the background so I could listen and kind of get filled in on what's going on around the world because I don't watch TV. I don't watch the news. I have to go and dig around on the internet for all my news and all my websites. And now with AI, how much of it can I trust?
That's true.
You know, can you trust the AI?
No, you can't because they're actually like I remember hearing a story on a lawyer's channel, and he was saying that in the Supreme Court, they actually not the Supreme Court, but it was the right below the Supreme Court level, and they found AI briefs made by AI.
Well, I expect that.
But they were quoting laws that didn't even exist.
They exist somewhere.
But not in that state that they were quoting from. But it was something where it's just like, you know.
Yeah, if you're going to use it, you're going to have a specially trained AI, a legal AI, to help write briefs. And I understand why they do it is because they can go, hey, summarize, you know, John V. Martin versus Brown in 3 paragraphs or less and insert it on the page.
Well, in my eyes, that, you know, how do they know? You know, I mean, how do you know, like what we're talking about? How do you know if it's true or not? And it wouldn't manufacture.
Well, you would have to fact check your own paperwork, and people don't like it when you fact check them. It's like,
oh yeah,
interesting story that came out was, I believe it's, what's our governor's name? Jared Polis, in his infinite wisdom, signed a bill to protect wild buffalo in the state of Colorado.
huh?
Yeah. I challenge you to go find a wild buffalo in the state of Colorado. You ain't going to find one because they don't exist. So he signed a bill. We wasted time signing a bill for an animal that doesn't even exist in this state, which makes me think that's like going to be his next. Yeah, how much is this going to cost us? That's exactly what I thought. How much is this wild buffalo program going to cost us now in a state that's running a deficit?
Yeah, and on top of that, my question is, whose pocket is he lining?
Oh,
because a lot of these programs, they usually find out that they're
we,
you know, it's like, hey,
oh, there is Free State, Colorado, and Big Timber Lodge did a show last night on YouTube. And go look it up. It'll make your blood boil. Especially if you're paying taxes in the state of Colorado. But let's move on. I think we've beat the AI horse to death. So I guess, what are we going to go to here? Hamas.
It's up to you, man.
And the state of Israel have come to terms, I guess. And I guess Hamas is supposed to be de-arming, and they're supposed to turn over all the hostages and the bodies. And supposedly they've done that, but one of the bodies doesn't actually belong to anything. It's not an actual thing. And then I guess two of the bodies, which I'm trying to find my article here, parents stuff. It starts playing videos when you click on the thing. When you click on the page. So two of the bodies that were turned over I lost my article. Okay, two of the bodies that were turned over were actually U.S. citizens. And I knew there was a number of U.S. citizens that were caught up in that. But, man, Hamas is lucky the United States didn't jump in on that fight because they had some of our citizens. Because I don't think there'd be anything left of Gaza. It'd be a crater.
Yeah.
It'd be worse off than it already is.
That's probably something they probably used against them. It's like, hey, if this gets out, people don't want, to come in and wipe you off the planet. You better sign this peace deal, or we're going to release this.
Well, no, because everybody was pro-Palestine. All the media and all that were all pro-Palestine. But I found it kind of... The media doesn't want to give Trump any props.
Oh, no.
None whatsoever. Hey, we negotiated a peace deal between Iran and Hamas, got the hostages and the bodies back. They're de-arming, and we're starting, going to start some peace process over here in the Middle East. And nobody cares. And then the people that do care are so upset because it's Trump. I would think you would be happy that there's peace over there now and things can get worked out.
That if somebody doesn't do something stupid.
Yeah.
How long has that war been going on?
Oh, decades. But it's in a couple years it'll kick off again. Because one side does not like the other, and the other side's trying to live with it, and the other side hates everybody. So, and all the countries that will fund the new government, and then all that money will get funneled into Hamas, and then we'll see. We'll see. A lot of Middle Eastern countries no longer like Hamas, supposedly, but we'll see what happens. Okay, we're going to move on to the next one here, which is the Trump administration withholds $40 million from California over trucker English proficiency rules. So Trump doesn't like the English proficiency rules that California has in place, so they're not giving them $40 million for something.
I agree with that. Because a lot of these people that are in...
Because it's over the refusal for it to enforce the English language requirement for truckers, which has been out for a while.
1930s.
You should be able to talk the language of the land if you're delivering stuff. If not, you should have an English whatever your language is, to English dictionary and figure it out. Or, but you shouldn't be driving on the road if you can't read the road signs. I mean, that'd be like me going to a foreign country going, I have no clue, dude. We're just going to turn left right here.
They're finding out that a lot of these people that are, again, like these non-domicile CDLs are not supposed to even get them. Because some of them are Mexican citizens.
Yeah, but where are they getting them? They're getting them in California.
And Colorado, Washington,
Oklahoma, not Oklahoma,
Florida,
Oregon.
Upstate New York.
All the liberal states.
I mean,
yeah.
Oh, yeah. And it's something where, and they warned them because they're doing that nationwide audit on all the CDLs. It's basically, if you got anybody, you better deal with them. Like Oklahoma did a bust, and they found 20 or 25 licenses. Literally says no name given on the license.
Yeah, how can you do that? That's one of those things you have to fill out on your driver's license.
Yeah, but they were getting CDL. Literally said no name given and all that, and this was like, I think it was 2 or 3 weeks ago when they did this.
Because unfortunately, all CDLs basically fall under federal guidelines because it's a Department of Commerce. It falls under that between states, commerce between states, commerce between, so it's a federal thing. And even though there is state regulations, it's still a federal license.
No, because if it's interstate commerce, if you don't leave the state, it falls under the state. Now, if you're leaving the state, that's federal.
But if you have a CDL, that is basic, even though it's a state CDL, it still has to meet federal requirements.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm saying.
Exemptions. They can give exemptions, but you can't leave the state. If you're getting exemptions, you can't leave the state because you can get a non-CDL that doesn't require a DOT physical, or they can say, well, we'll overlook some of your health problems, but you cannot leave the state because you fall under federal guidelines.
Okay. Well, interesting.
Be honestly, I think they should turn it into a federal license anyway. No more states, my opinion.
Yeah, well, I think the 10th Amendment's got something to say about that.
Because we're following federal law.
I understand we're following federal law, but you're also then, if you take it and make it solely a federal license, and the state has no control over it, then you're interfering on people's states' rights.
Well, no, because if you're doing going out of state doing that, technically you're under federal law as is because you're federal law.
I get that, but the trucks are registered. The trucks aren't registered federally. The trailers aren't registered federally. All that stuff is registered. It's all registered in the state.
Yeah, but
you may have a DOT inspection number on it. You may have your federal licensing slapped on there somewhere, some pretty sticker, and then when you go through other states, you get their stickers to put on your trucks because you got to pay the fuel tax or the road tax or something.
Yeah, it's a permit.
To be able to drive on their roads because they need to pay to repair those roads. Yeah. I totally get that. And if it goes federal, the federal government's not going to give the states the funding to fix those roads.
Oh, whoa. Interstate roads and U.S. highways, they get roughly 60% from the federal government when they do new roads and also repair new roads. repair roads.
Where'd the federal
States do
government get
not
that money?
fuel tax. Because there's actually a
From
federal
where?
fuel tax. The fuel we buy,
From who?
us.
The people that
Look
live
it
in
up.
that state.
No, all fuel hacks on it.
I get
Federally
that.
and state.
Who pays it?
We do.
Okay,
You buy
so
fuel.
you're in Colorado, and you fill up your truck in Colorado.
Yes.
A portion of that money goes to the federal government.
Yes.
Who paid that? You did, as a citizen of Colorado. That money
So
did
when
not come. That money did not come from the federal government. The only reason the federal government has money, there's two income sources, or three: permits and tariffs or licensing or taxes.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
Yeah. The other thing is, they get most of their money to repair roads from the federal government that we pay for.
Yeah, but it doesn't stay. Majority of that money doesn't stay in that state.
No.
There are certain states in the union that get more money in tax dollars than they put in.
Yeah. But is it something where, you're saying that all the state pays for it? No, it doesn't. It's also a group effort from all the states that pay into that fund.
It's not a
But
group
most
effort.
of
It's
these-
theft. Taxation is theft. When they're taxing your income, it's theft. When they're doing property tax, it's theft. Because you can buy a piece of property, you can buy a house, but if you don't pay your property taxes on that house, and you could have paid off that wonderful house, 500,000, couple hundred grand, whatever, paid off that house, or you're in the process of paying it off, but you don't pay your taxes, you don't own it anymore. They're going to come take it.
Well, it's like the HOA.
Oh, that's why I hate HOAs. But that's what I'm saying. You're paying, it's all theft money, because if you don't pay it, they're going to put a lien on your stuff and take your stuff. Property tax should be illegal.
Well,
if you want to put a sales tax on something, or a road tax to use your road, or put an education tax on educational materials, whatever. I don't care. You want to put in a TV tax like England's got? Don't care. Go right ahead. But stop taxing my land. Don't tax my land. Don't tax my income. Because income used to not be taxed at all.
Yeah.
It was supposed to be a temporary tax, and it's been in place ever since World War II or World War One.
Yeah. Same thing with
supposed to be a temporary tax.
Same thing with fuel tax. It was only supposed to last, I think, 5 years. And look how long they dragged it out, because it was supposed to where that that they have enough money in that fund.
I can understand a fuel tax. I can get behind a fuel tax. That's like a sales tax to me. If it actually goes to maintaining the roads, I'm good with it. But if they're using it for something else that doesn't pertain to roads or fuel, then it's being used for the wrong thing.
A lot of the tax money is the same thing with Social Security. How many times have the federal government touched that and used it for something else? How many times? Last time I count, I think it was 3 times I've heard of that they took used the money, because it was a self-efficient fund, and it's something where they took the money out and used it on something else.
Okay.
Be honest
So we're
with me,
gonna.
I think they need to privatize that. It's like federal government. You put money into it, and it's something where like a 401k. Whatever job you have, you put money into it. That's what you get back.
Well, it's an interesting thought. We're gonna move on to more of this AI stuff, but it's an AI robot this time out of Australia. Printed a house overnight, 2,150 square foot home in one day, which is equivalent to the speed of 100 bricklayers working simultaneously, and basically 3D printed it out of concrete. So it's not just truck drivers that are going to lose their jobs. It's not going to be. It's going to be bricklayers that are next. There's going to be one guy to maintain a fleet of these concrete squirting robots instead of 100 bricklayers. The art of laying a brick will be gone.
Yeah. And pretty soon there'd be nobody knows what to do, and when technology fails or there's a massive EMP, well, there goes the world's knowledge.
But I still think it's cool that they made this machine that can do it, that's able to do that. Basically a walking 3D printer. But that's just crazy. But the implications are huge on this, because when they go to like Mars or something like that, they could send a unit up like that years in advance to make protective shelter domes to put their other shelters in out of Martian soil. So there's all kinds of like space, and or you get a couple of these and you go into a disaster area and you're banging out homes. It's kind of like it's on the same equivalence to me is like a Quonset hut. If you ever research the technology of Quonset huts. But I just thought we'd talk about that real quick. And then more AI, Skynet. We talked about the blackmail.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we talked about the blackmail.
How about the way Trump paid the federal troops?
Yeah, so Trump took, I think, is it White House funds? 6.3.
No, it was the Pentagon's research money that they had budgeted.
Okay, so Pentagon research money, 6.3 billion, I think it was, to pay all the employees in the military. Which to me, that's one of those things that shouldn't even look. You've got all these military people, it's a budgeted thing. They should just get paid every month when you guys are fighting, no matter what. Yeah. Because these are the guys defending the country. And so you're going to tell me that they're going to work. Some of these guys are living check to check. These families are living check to check, like a lot of Americans. And then you're not going to pay them?
Well, they use that as a bargaining chip. Well, if you want
they want to use it as a bargaining chip to get the Republicans to come over to sign bills that will negate some of the Medicare stuff that they took away from illegal aliens in the big beautiful bill.
Yeah, and one thing is like one congressman I was watching a show. When he learned about that live on TV, it's just like you just look at him and he looked like his brain shut down. He was like, because it's like he just, I'm sorry, but
yeah. So the other thing that's happening now is it came out like a day ago, and I guess it's already happened to some people. Instead of being furloughed, they're actually getting laid off. which means they're not going to collect a paycheck. They're not going to get back pay, which personally, if you're not working, why are you collecting back pay?
Yeah.
I don't get
I agree with
this.
that.
If I don't show up to work, I don't get paid. But you don't show up to work and you get paid, and you could be off. This is 15 days now they've been off. You know, are they going to get paid and like do makeup days or something to make up the time?
No,
Okay.
they never did.
If they're going to make up the time and make up the hours and get other work done, fine. Then let them get paid. They can make up the hours, an extra 2 hours or an extra hour a day for the next whatever. You know, because that's the only way I see some of these agencies getting ahead on their paperwork, like the IRS, the ATF, you know, and all the other places. So I don't know. I'm just a pickle about that. So we'll see. We'll keep going right along here.
It's something where, you know, in my eye, you know, I agree with you on that. It's like, hey, you know, why should you get paid if you weren't working? But also, it's something where it's a free holiday for them because they're like, oh, I'll know I'm going to get paid. But I'm sorry, but
Eventually,
way too big. Government.
They've been shut down for 15
big.
days. I think this may be the longest shutdown we've had.
No, there's actually been one that was 45 days, if I remember right.
Okay, so a 45-day shutdown, that's the record. Well, we'll see what happens because from what I understand, the Republicans are not budging and the Democrats keep pushing bill after bill to try to get them to pass it. But we'll see.
Well, another thing is what I heard about this, and I agree, is they want to go in a room where these people need to go in there and make a deal. Like, no. We're not making a backroom deal. We're doing you know, you're going to do it out in the public eye. We're not going to do a backroom deal. And that's how a lot of these bills get passed, like these big, that have a lot of fat in it. It's like, well, we need to get the government open. And the Republicans saying, no, we're not doing that. You know, we're going to
move on.
Okay.
So there was a kerfuffle, I guess you could say, between Canada and the United States, and they're trying to figure out what Canada's trying to figure out what they're doing on this deal with the F-35s. Have you heard about this one?
No, I'm not.
Where, you know, the administration has said there'll be serious repercussions if you back out of that F-35 deal. And Canada's like, well, you know, I think part of it's because there's a cost overrun for Canada by like another $8 billion or something like that, if I remember right. And then they could pay $8 billion more above the original estimated price, which I wonder if that has something to do with tariffs. You know, are they still getting charged tariffs on that deal, or are they letting it slide? I don't know. But, and then there's talk that they're going to go to a Canadian-made fighter. Not a Canadian-made fighter, but a Swiss-made fighter. Other than the F-35, because it's cheaper and easier. So it'd be interesting to see what comes out about that. The last couple of days, it's been in the last 6 days that's been going on, and it'll be interesting to see. It'll be interesting to see what goes on because there's been a lot of, you know, warnings from Trump to all kinds of different countries. If you don't do this, you don't do that. If you don't keep up your, you know, 5% NATO, we're not going to protect you. And so I guess we'll see what's going on in the world.
Well, the other thing is with that, you know, a lot of these countries signed on to make this F-35. They need to hold up their end of the bargain. You know, we can't keep shelling out the money and, you know, keep taking the brunt of this. You know, we have our own problem. Trump's actually making them hold up to their end of the bargain, and they don't like it.
Yeah. Because they're saying it could jeopardize the North American Aerospace Defense Command NORAD, it could jeopardize that pact they have where they work together on this stuff, where they defend each other's countries. They're defending Canada and the United States at the same time. So
Yeah.
I guess we'll see what happens here in the next few weeks and what's going on. The new Tron movie. I've gotten there are a lot of people that think it stinks.
Really?
Rotten Tomatoes gave it a 53%. That's a huge ouch. 6.7 out of 10 from IMDb. You know, Fandango gave it an 86%. I had a couple buddies went there to go see it, and they were like, you know, the soundtrack was awesome. The cinematography was awesome. The story sucked. Just when you think it was starting to go somewhere and get good, and then it would flip to a whole different direction and just suck. So,
well, it's made by Disney. The Disney, you know, back in the old days, it used to be where Disney used to make some good quality movies. Now they're just rehashing everything. You know, they're not making any original movies anymore. And or they got so much DEI and wokeness in it, it makes you want to puke.
Yeah, it's and the audience is saying basically the same thing I'm saying. Music's good, cinematics are good, but the storyline just not there. So I guess we'll see. And I haven't seen a lot about new movies coming out, and I wanted to go see it.
Really?
But now, no, I love Tron.
I mean,
like
too.
From the original Tron to the next Tron to
yeah.
And I guess there's a lot of fade back to the last Tron.
Legacy.
Well, that they went back Tron to that storyline, and which I understand why they're trying to tie it both together, and they should be, but it just, like, a lot of my buddies are like, it's not worth the money to go see it. It's not. You go wait for it to come out on free on Prime, because that's what I would put it as. It's a free on Prime movie, not one you pay to go see.
No.
Well, that's pretty sad. I mean, because there's a lot of good movies out there that I would like to see, but then when I see them or pay for them, I'm severely disappointed in them.
Well, it's like I said, movies nowadays, it seems like they're rehashing the same thing, but they're making them, more like realistically, like How to Train Your Dragon. I love the animated version, and they're doing.
Yeah, but how many times are you going to rescue the girl and blow up the bar or be the war hero or where everybody dies? I mean, there's only so many times you can rehash that. It's like video games.
Yeah.
People are like, oh, you need to play this video game. And I look at the video game and I go, it looks just like such and such. Well, it's got a few new things. And I go, I already own such and such. Why am I going to play that?
True. It's like, what happened making original movies? Now it's like they're rehashing everything.
Well, you got to come up with a script, and if you do an AI script, it's going to be stuff that it's already been fed, movies that it's already been fed. It's not going to think up its own storyline. It's just going to piece together bits out of everybody else's storyline within the parameters that you give it.
Well, it's like Disney, now it seems like, give you a prime example, like Disney. It's like all their movies are woke or DEI stuff. It's like, dude, we don't want to see that. Like Star Wars, that last one. It was like
no. I can understand if you're going to have politics in a movie, if it's a political movie, But politics in Star Wars, it should be Star Wars politics, not of the day politics.
Yeah.
And when they start doing the politics in the movies and the politics in the TV shows and the politics in your podcasts and all that stuff, I just don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
I don't mind politics in a podcast because that's what I'm interested in. But you know what I mean? I don't want, if I'm listening to a sci-fi story on a podcast, I don't want to listen to politics, modern politics tied up into that sci-fi story.
Well, it's like you heard about the Harry Potter. They're making Southern Snake a woman now.
Well, that's their choice to do that.
Yeah, but I mean, it's like, dude, he was a lot. It's like when they remake a movie, they really got it. There's very few times.
It's not the first time that it's happened. It's not the first time it's happened.
There's very few times that I can say, hey, that worked out good. Like, give you a prime example. Battlestar Galactica. When I first watched the remake of it, it turned me off because Starbuck was a woman. And after a couple of episodes, it's like, damn, she's a lot better than the original one. Because her acting, the storyline was there.
Well, you're comparing stuff from the 70s to now. A lot's changed in writing and all that stuff, and effects and all that stuff. But Starbuck was actually meant to be a womanizing man, and they made it a manizing woman, I guess. But whatever floats the boat. I didn't care for it, and I love Battlestar Galactica. But I guess I prefer the old school.
I prefer the old school.
The graphics are definitely better. Definitely better in the new school one.
Yeah, true.
The fight scenes are a lot better when they're fighting in space. Are a lot better.
Yeah.
But
yep.
I think I prefer that old school storyline. I mean, I don't know why, but I think because it reminds me of being a kid.
Well, here's something you might not know. Do you know the Adama that plays in the remake is actually the original writer for the original Battlestar Galactica?
Good.
And that made the remake. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah, and that but different people have different viewpoints about that. Some, like you said, like the original. Some people like the remake.
Yeah, so, but the new Tron movie, it's I don't know. I guess we'll see. But the popcorn meter, it got 86%, but on the tomato meter, it got 53%. So some people really loved it. A lot of people I know hated it. They liked 75% of what was going on in the movie, and the other 25% is like, this could have been so much more. But they just didn't do it.
Well, a lot of the storyline is, they don't give enough, I feel, backstory to it.
It's because movies aren't 2-hour movies anymore. How long is the Tron
like
movie?
An hour and a half. I remember.
Is it an hour and a half?
I don't know.
Hour and 59 minutes.
I don't know.
I bet you they could have stretched that Tron movie out to 4 hours. With like all the backstory and because I remember going to see movies that were longer than 2 hours.
Oh yeah.
But a lot of movies like hour 15 to an hour 30.
Yeah. They started going downhill, I think, in the 1995. It reminded me of the first time I watched a movie and I was getting into it. Next thing I know, it's like, where's the rest of the movie? And it's over. And I'm like, I looked at my watch and it was like an hour. Like, where's the rest of it?
Because I was super stoked to go see this movie. I may still go see this movie. I don't know. I may go pick another movie to go see, but I don't go to movies very often either.
That's amazing part right there when you said you want to go see it.
Well, I've always been into Tron.
Yeah. Like I said, the first two movies.
The Tron universe is. Huh? Yeah, the first two movies were good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I'd still sit down and watch the original movie.
I still think the second movie was missing some stuff, but it was good enough to get past that. But we're over an hour. We're going to get out of here. If you could do us a favor and you've been listening tonight, please like and subscribe on your streaming service that you've been listening to us. Those numbers really help us out, and we appreciate it. If you can also go to vermlandradio.com. We have a store there set up for our shows, for the Jim Canna Show and for Just Pure Talk. We have a swag shop there. You can buy swag and, cups like this right here. Like if you like the podcast here, come get our cup. And we don't get any of the money. It all goes back into helping us do a better show with better software and better sound equipment and, studio stuff. So we really appreciate it. And thank you very much for coming in tonight. And then I guess we'll see you guys next week on Wednesday and at the same time that we were here this week. So have a good one and